theswirlworld.com, podcast episode 132.
The Swirl World.
Interracial.
Diverse.
Beautiful.
Today's shout out goes to my partner in crime, Adrienne London Leach. Adrienne curates the content over on the Swirl World Facebook page, and she does one in a million things, like producing this podcast show. I want her to know how very much I appreciate her. She's been with the Swirl World almost from day one and has been invaluable in creating community, building relationships, and just all around helping me to stay sane. Again, today's shout out goes to my partner in crime, someone that I love and care for very much, Adrienne London Leach. Also want to say thanks to her husband because he's the wind beneath her wings and he kind of keeps all of us sane over at the Swirl World. Thank you, Adrienne. I really, really appreciate you. Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Swirl World Podcast. This is your co-host, Michelle Matthews-Calloway. In today's episode, I'm going to share 6 ways that you can take charge of your life in 2018. The 6 items stem from a Stephen Covey article I read all the way back in 2012. And guess what? Those principles still hold true today in 2018. One of the new things that Adrienne and I will be doing this year is that from time to time, we're just going to get on the mic and talk solo. It may come from a Facebook Live, or it may come from just something we're doing in the studio. Either way, you'll be hearing from both of us individually, and you'll also be hearing us as we continue our format of interviewing the best and brightest people in our space. Our goal is to celebrate and elevate Black women, mind, body, soul, and spirit. We have some wonderful shows coming in 2018, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoy this episode. Keep listening. Hello, beautiful people. How are you? It's 2018, and this is a Swirl Girl coming at you on behalf of theswirlworld.com, where we celebrate and elevate Black women, mind, body, soul, and spirit. We do this over on the blog at theswirlworld.com, on our podcast, which is heard on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify now, and we're excited about that. And also on iHeartRadio and all of the major podcasting platforms. We also have a thriving Facebook community of almost 52,000 fans with the content curated by Adrienne London Leach. And I'm excited because we are in a new year and it's a new day, new book. We can turn the page and we can start all over again. And the good thing about it is we can do that every day, not just at the beginning of a new year, but literally every day is a new beginning. So I wanted to come on and share 6 things that we can do to take charge in 2018. And what's interesting about this is, you know how Facebook does these memories that pop up? Well, this was something that I posted actually in 2012. And here we are, 6 years later, and these truths are still good, still applicable, still something we can use in our lives. So, okay, what's the first one? The first one is be proactive. And that's more than just take an initiative and say, okay, I'm going to do something. When you're proactive, you put plans and systems in place to ensure your success. It means taking responsibility, being responsible for your own life, not waiting for someone else to make things happen for you, but you taking charge. And again, that's what we're talking about, taking charge in 2018. So you want to be proactive. You want to be responsible for your own life. What are the things that you can do to move your life forward or to make your life better? You're not waiting for anybody to do that for you. You're doing it for yourself. You empower yourself. Maybe that means you need to go back to school or take some classes or get some certifications. Whatever is involved, you be proactive. That's number one. And then number 2 is sharpen the saw. What that means is, you think about if you had to cut some wood or you had to do a project, get your tools in place and make sure your tools work. So if you sharpen the saw, you decide what's truly important. And you think about if you approach the beginning of each day with that in mind. I'm going to get my tools together. I'm going to sharpen my saw. I'm going to do this early in the day. And sometimes it even means planning the night before what you're going to do the next day, or what are the big rocks of that day? What are the things you need to accomplish? Once you sharpen your saw, you'll learn how to say no to those things that are not important and say yes to those things that are important. You're not going to be so easily swayed or veered off course because you've sharpened your saw, you know what you have to accomplish, and you're setting forth to do just that in that day. All right, what's number 3? And this deals with relationships and our interactions with people. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood. And I know that might be hard for us because it's human nature to want people to understand us and want them to know where we're coming from. But you think about if you're having a conversation, maybe with a partner or a spouse or even a coworker, if you in your mind said, you know what, instead of me pushing my point of view or me getting them to see where I'm coming from, let me take a mental step back. Let me see where this person is coming from. Let me try to understand the point they want to make. Imagine the difference you would experience in your interactions and conversations if you approach things that way. Instead of you seeking to be understood and you wanting to push your point, step back and seek to understand that other person. Great way to take charge in 2018 is to put the focus on others and not yourself primarily. Okay. And then this one I think is a really important one, and it factors so much into our goal setting and the things we want to do. And that is begin with the end in mind. Now I want you to think about that. I was on a webinar last week with Whitney English. She's the founder of Day Designer, which is a planner. And she was talking about, when you think about your goals and things you want to accomplish or even what you want to do with your life, you should begin with the end in mind. What age do you want to retire? What age to you maybe would you consider nearing the end of your life or a good seasoned part of your life? So she used being 80 years old as an example. What do you want your life to look like when you're 80 years old? Think about that. And I'm going to take a minute for you to think, what do you want your life to look like? So say, for example, if you have children, if you envision yourself, with your kids coming over for the holidays, and by that time, I'm sure they'd have grandkids and you maybe even would have great grandchildren. If you're anticipating, I see myself in my rocking chair and my kids and grandkids coming over. Well, guess what? At the age you are now, you have to build relationships with your children. You have to maintain relationships with the people you expect to still be in your life at 80. You have to sow those seeds now. Think about that. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about being proactive, taking responsibility. Things aren't going to just happen because you want them to or just happen as a matter of course. We achieve much more success when we plan. And if you fail to plan, guess what? You plan to fail. So begin with the end in mind. And even if, say, I know a lot of people, it's 2018, new year, they're thinking about maybe starting a business or starting a blog or maybe have weight loss in mind. I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm going to eat healthier. Begin with the end in mind. Envision yourself doing and being whatever it is you're setting that goal for. If you're seeing yourself slimmer, if you're seeing yourself healthier, what steps do you need to take today to achieve what it is you're looking for at the end? What is the end result you're expecting to accomplish or achieve? So when you start, begin with that in mind. All right? Okay. Next. Develop a vision mission statement. And this is critical as well. Oftentimes we don't take time to just sit and think, what is my purpose? Why am I even here? What's the mission of my life? What's the vision for my life? Going again to what I was saying about where do you see yourself? What's your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal, your 20-year goal? Where do you see yourself? So what's the vision and mission for your life that is going to get you to that point? So when you have a deep sense of that mission, you understand your purpose and your value, what it is you bring to the table, who you are, how you're able to enhance and elevate someone else's life. Guess what? When you have this mission statement, it helps you make sure that your goals are in alignment with what that mission is. If you know what your vision is for your life, again, by being proactive, you can set in place the goals and systems that will be in alignment and get you to where you want to be. And also, in a sense, demonstrate the person that you are. All right. So last but not least, I've been giving 6 ways to take charge of 2018. We said be proactive, to sharpen the saw, seek to understand before being understood, begin with the end in mind, develop a vision mission statement for your life, and last but not least, think win-win. I had a HR little test or evaluation that I did with another individual in our office, and it outlined our personality types as far as interactions. And some people are lose-win, where they lose and they give in and they let the other person win. Some people are win-win, where they seek to find a mutually satisfying agreement between them and the other person. And then some people are win-lose. They want to win, but they want you to lose. Be win-win. There's more than enough success for everyone to achieve. We don't have to try to dig a ditch for anybody. We don't have to try to bury anyone. We don't have to try to annihilate someone. There's plenty enough to go around. There's plenty enough success. If you're in business, there's plenty enough money to be made. If you are seeking a romantic relationship, I say this so often, there are over 7 billion people on the planet. All you need is one. So you don't have to try to undermine somebody else's relationship, or you don't even have to share, because there's someone who will be loyal and faithful and true to you. Think win-win. I can win, and so can the other person that I'm interacting with. All right, you guys, wanted to come on, as I said, to just share some inspiration, to give you 6 ways that you can take charge of your life in 2018. I'll be coming on periodically to share things about relationships, things about motivation, inspiration, something that's going to elevate your mind.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to like the Swirl World on Facebook and subscribe to the blog at theswirlworld.com.
Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast or listen directly from our Facebook page.
We can also be heard on SoundCloud and Stitcher Radio.
The Swirl World.
Interracial.
Diverse.
Beautiful.